Hi, I'm Sonia, and welcome back to my channel, Sonia on Being 60. Today I wanted to talk about strength training and whether or not strength training is important as runners. Well, absolutely, it is really important to do some strength training along with, all of the other training that we do, be it running, cycling, swimming, whatever it is. Now, I know sometimes when you start talking about doing some strength training or weight training, immediately some people will think, oh my God, like then I'm gonna bulk up, I'm gonna get big muscles. I can assure you that the strength training I'm talking about, you're not gonna get big muscles. And frankly, in order to build muscles, it takes years and years and years of hard work. So if we're lifting a few weights, we're not going to be turning into Arnold here. For him to have that kind of a physique, I mean, it's a lot of work, years and years of work to try to get to that, point. What I'm talking about is doing training that's going to build strength. And we're not going to be building bulk, and we're not going to be putting on, massive amounts of weights. And it does take a lot actually to gain weight by doing some strength training. It does take a lot of effort and time. But before we get into some of, like how we should do our strength training, what are the benefits? Why bother doing strength training? Well, for runners, strength training, especially on our core, is going to help us with our posture. I know, like if I'm doing a long run or if I'm in a marathon, like as you get towards the end, like you're fatigued. And what happens quite often is, and you'll see this in runners, the shoulders will kind of hunch forward and kind of start shuffling. If we can have a strong core, we're better able to keep our posture more upright. It opens up our airway passages, makes breathing easier, and it helps you kind of just stay strong. Also, too, if we're, strengthening our hamstrings, our quads, our glutes, our hips, all of those muscles will help us when we're doing hill workouts or speed workouts. They will help us be stronger and faster. And ultimately, sometimes that's what we want to be, a faster runner. We might have a personal goal in mind. And one way to get there is to build strength so that we are able to be more, more efficient and stronger and faster. And at the same time, if we're building strength, we are reducing, the likelihood of injury, because we're building the strength. We're protecting our muscles and joints and ligaments and everything, and it just will help us to reduce any injuries that could otherwise occur. The other thing that's important too, I think, certainly as an older athlete, when doing strength training, is that it really helps with bone density. And having strong bones is really important, especially as we get older, because if we fall, the likelihood of breaking a bone is less if you have stronger muscles. So how do you gain strength? It's interesting. I always thought if you want to build strength that we have to kind of do 3 sets and maybe 12 reps. I always thought it was more lighter volume. So I started watching some videos, and I'm going to link to a really good video that I actually just watched. And it's one of the YouTube persons that I follow. His name is Triathlon Taren, and he just actually put out a really good video on strength training for triathletes. And you can translate that to runners, cyclists, swimmers, kind of whatever. It just gives you a lot of good information. So what I did find out, though, was in building strength, you actually do have to lift heavy. But you're not going to failure. You're not going to that where like, oh, you just can't lift that weight anymore, and it's like it's all you can do to, eke out that last rep. No, you're lifting strong, but you're doing less repetitions, and you might be doing 3 to 5 sets and maybe doing 5 repetitions, but it's going to be heavy. And then you're going to take a good rest in between each set of exercises that you do. And that is what's going to help you build your initial strength. Now, before you go out and start doing anything, I'm not a medical professional. I'm not advocating that this is the end all to be all. Everybody has to do what they can do. And if you haven't touched weights, start slow. You might want to make sure that you've got medical clearance to do it if you have some issues. So just, take it at your own pace. Now, I've done weights on and off for many, many years. Lately, I haven't really been paying as much attention to the strength training, even though inside I know how important it is. I've just kind of let it slide. And I think part of that is because the gyms haven't been open, and I've always loved going to the gym. Now, I'm pretty well equipped for a little home gym. I'll put some pictures up. I mean, I've got some barbells, I've got some dumbbells, I have a little machine that has some pulleys on it. So there's a lot of exercises that I can actually do here at home until I feel I want to go back to the gym or have time to go back to the gym. What's important too when you're strength training is, and if you're a runner, let's say, so you have a marathon, you have a half marathon or whatever, you have a race coming up. You gear your training to kind of the period that you're in with your training. So right now, I mean, I do have a marathon coming up, but my big event is not until November. So I'm still in a bit of a building phase. So at this point in my training, I can go heavier. I can start, I'll start slow. I'll start with lighter weights and build myself up, but I can get to the point where I am lifting those heavy weights. But as I progress into my season, I'm going to probably want to switch it up because I don't want to overly fatigue my muscles either when I have some really bigger efforts in running or cycling coming up. I want to continue to build strength, but at the same time, I also will want to probably incorporate some explosive type of movements like jump squats, jumping on a box. Those things also help to get you stronger and faster. Now, in terms of the exercises that I will do that I think are really important, and it's to focus, I think, on the main body parts and the main parts that you need for the type of exercise, the type of training that you're doing. So as a runner, obviously I want to build my core, so that's going to involve doing planks, some Russian twists as well. I'll be doing squats, starting out, probably just body squats, and then start holding some weights in my hand. I'll be doing lunges. I'll be doing some deadlifts. I'll be doing one leg deadlift, which I find is really important for my knees to help align and track, get my patellar to be lined up nicely and protected. And doing the one leg deadlift really does help with your balance as well. And that's something else that's really important. For the glutes, there's glute bridges. You can do like side raises, leg, kickbacks. There's so many different variations of exercises that one can do. And you just really need to go take a Google search, and you'll get demonstrations of what the exercises look like. But essentially for me, I'm just going to focus on like 5 different exercises. So I'm going to do squats, lunges, glute bridge, my core work, and I'm also going to do some upper body work, because I also feel like if you're running, like, you do use your arms, and you should have some strength in there as well to help propel you. So I'll be doing some bicep curls. I will also do some rows. That's going to help strengthen my back, and some overhead presses. So a number of exercises, and you can pick and choose kind of the exercise that you want to do for the body part. And I'm going to do this twice a week to start. I want to build strength. I want to focus on building strength. And I also need to be cognizant that I have a lot of other activities and I don't want to burn myself out and I don't want to hurt myself doing some weights and then not be able to go run, for example. But the most important thing I think to remember is, if you're just starting out with weight training, is to take it slow. But to start, take it slow. And it will take some time to build that strength. But you'll see, there will be progression. Like, I know that. I know once I start lifting weights again, I will see the progression and I will be able to lift those heavier and heavier weights. So until next time, have a wonderful week and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.